It's Saturday evening. It's time to talk about the very best comic books in the entire world with a good friend, Drew. How you doing, Drew?
I am doing fantastic, Wes. Just wrapped up issue 2 of Unholy Nightmare, but I still make time to talk about the best comics of the week. So let's talk about the very best comics of the week.
And I will start out with what I think is the very best comic book of the week. This was shocking to me. I did not expect this. Absolute Wonder Woman this week from Kelly Thompson with the new artist, Mattia. The Iulis was simply amazing. I couldn't believe it. Just the fact of the art change, the style is so much different than what Hayden Sherman is doing. And I think Hayden Sherman fits like a hand in a glove on Batman Dark Patterns. But this looks so much more epic in nature, throwing this style of art into what Kelly Thompson was doing in this particular issue. And it made all the difference in the world. So many levels better just as far as the way it looked, not to mention how it read.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wasn't very too familiar with this artist. Well, actually, I take that back. I am relatively familiar with this stuff. I've seen him do a lot of cover work, but I'd always thought like there was like it wasn't legit. I always thought it wasn't legit art, but like some Mattia stuff going on. But no, with this issue, like you said, Wes, the art in this is almost too good. I looked it up. No, this guy is a legit talented artist. He pencils and inks and stuff, and then he does like some digital painting or whatever with it, and it looks beautiful. It's like when you see the book like this, you can't help but ask, you mean to tell me we could have had this guy the entire time? We could have had this guy from issue 1? Could have had this beautiful artist drawing Wonder Woman fight this massive kaiju in the city and everything. It's like it really makes it. It really just shows you just how disappointing that is to know that he could have been around the whole time. But yeah, this issue stands out from all the others and is arguably the most beautiful book in the whole Absolute line. And I hope there's enough fans that say, we want this guy. We want this guy around for the long haul. He's our cowboy. But outside of the purplish prose from Kelly Thompson in this issue, it wasn't that her writing wasn't too solid in my opinion. But the storytelling from the art is 100% stellar. I recommend everyone check this book out. If not for the art, for the story itself being told by the art.
Absolutely, the story itself is cool. If this is what Absolute Wonder Woman is going to be moving forward, I will be a customer every single month and I will be raving about it. This is Wonder Woman going out on adventures, fighting mythical creatures in order to obtain artifacts. She's basically talking to Hades, who has a great look. He's like this blue ball of flame with this really awesome red crown that's like levitating above his head. Just look dynamite. And she's explaining how she was able to get like Prometheus's blood. She has to go up there to this mountain where he's tied up by freaking Zeus and kind of free him and all this stuff. Then she ends up going and fighting like an enormous dragon snake to get some of its venom and all that stuff. If this is what it's going to be, because this is what I was told Absolute Wonder Woman was, her going out there and fighting mythical creatures and finding artifacts, I'm all for it. I can take a third of it being all the crap that was in like the first 4 or 5 issues. But if this is the main focus, this is exactly what I want. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. And it really reminds me of Riccardo Federici when he was doing The Last Gods with
Phil Kennedy Johnson.
Yes, Phil Kennedy Johnson. Yeah, just how beautiful and fun that was. And like there's a lot of fun to be had here. And as long as Kelly Thompson keeps using her imagination to really get into mythological lore of these gods, it's going to be a blast. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you said, Wes, let's trade carefully. Hopefully the next issue is just like this, because if so, I'm going to keep coming back just like you. This is a lot of fun. This is a recommend all day.
Yeah, there is going to be another issue to this particular story, but Absolute Wonder Woman has never looked more beautiful, more powerful, more spectacular than this particular issue. It's my pick of the week. I couldn't believe how good it was. Are there some issues with some of the pros? Sure. But for the most part, this was exceptionally solid. The best issue of absolute anything that I've read thus far. Now let's get to the indie comic books, because we got some recommends there. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 315, Larry Hama writing, Chris Moodyham on art. This is a cleanup issue, basically cleaning up all the mess that Larry Hama had created on Mutant Island and in Springfield with the ninjas and, Baroness getting hurt and all that kind of stuff. But it looks so good because of Chris Moodyham. The art is absolutely top notch. Love seeing them return to the original pit. That was absolutely badass. And seeing what the likely ramifications are going to be for Cobra Commander at the hands of Destro is all very, very exciting stuff. And for something that doesn't have a whole lot of action or stuff pushing it forward. I thought Larry Hama really delivered on this one.
Yeah, he did. Like you said, I couldn't have said it better. It's a cleanup issue. It's a setup issue for things to come. And really, I mean, his stories lately have been really focused on Destro and Cobra Commander. And that's where we get a lot of the interesting stuff to me is really the stuff between Destro and Cobra Commander here. And there's a great stuff here with Baroness. She's barely alive. And what Destro says to Cobra Commander if she dies, it's like, oh, I love it. And I'm not going to reveal what happens. You got to read to find out. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's beautifully illustrated by Chris Mooneyham once again. The perfect book for his artwork. And the cliffhanger in this, it's very interesting. It sounds like we may be going back to the way things once were, but we'll see what happens. This is a strong recommend. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. It's so much fun. Larry, you can tell Larry Hama is having a blast. And so is Chris Mooneyham. This is what comic books should be.
Absolutely. G.I. Joe is hot as can be. Not only do you have the original stuff, you got the Energon stuff. It's all great. Also great. TMNT, Saturday Morning Adventures, Eric Burnham writing, Dan Schoening on art. And this is another one of those fun kind of one and done stories. And this time we get Dirk Savage coming back and basically recruiting Donatello to be his undercover like 007 spy. He's always infiltrating people, gets himself into a heap of trouble before his brothers have to come and bail him out. And it was another really fun time. If you love the cartoon, this is the comic book for you.
Yes, Donatello, Agent of Dude. I love it. I was grinning from ear to ear, laughing with every page. This was just fun. This is so much fun. I mean, this, once again, we've said it before several times about this series. If you're a kid to an adult, if you're a parent reading this with your kid, both of you are going to have a blast reading this. And I had an absolute blast reading this. Yeah, Eric Burnham knows how to tell an all ages book. And that is a skill that is very, very, very hard to come by. And I don't want to spoil what happens with this. All I'm going to say is you are going to have fun reading this. Everyone, check out TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures. Eric Burnham is one of the best at all ages books.
Absolutely, the dude is horribly underappreciated and underemployed in comic books. Absolutely. We've also got Pharaoh number 11, Tony Fleeks writing, Trish Forstner on art. I've kind of fallen off of this one, but you're still loving this book. We got the cats trying to evade the rabies, zombie-infected felines that might be taking over humans now. It looks like they've made it maybe out of the hoarder's house.
Yes, they've made it out of the hoarder's house, but at the end of the last issue, they got into a car crash. So in this car crash, we see we got the fallout from that. And let's just say one of the cats we've been following since the beginning, they are gone for good. I'm not going to say who, but one of them is gone. And there's a brutal, brutal fight in this between the cats and a huge bear. I'm not going to say who goes down, but you got to read to find out. And on top of that, the pack pick up another cat along the way. And it's a very compelling, fast-paced, emotional story. And it's so hard to get someone like me who hates cats to care about these cats in this series. And but we're also seeing, like I said, this disease spread out from the cats. It's getting to other animals now. Like I said, bears are being infected by it, Rottweilers. It is not good. And I'm very curious to see where we're going to be like 10 issues from now in this world. Everyone needs to check out Feral. It is a fantastic horror series.
I got my money on the bear.
That's fair.
Moving over to Marvel Comics, we got one book to recommend. Weapon X-Men #2, Joe Casey writing, Chris Cross on art. There are admittedly far too many Deadpool Wolverine team-ups with Deadpool screwing Wolverine over out at this very moment. I think there's 4 books kind of doing the same thing. This one is doing it the best by far, in my opinion, because we've also got another team with Cable, is it Warpath, as well as Chamber, all working together, trying to save these guys. And we find out who's actually behind all this. Baron Strucker, and he's trying to clone not only himself, but his plan is to clone an entire Wolverine freaking army. That sounds like the apocalypse if I've ever heard it. I think Chris Cross is still delivering in this one, and I'm quite enjoying Weapon X-Men.
Yeah, I will say if there's one disappointment in this I have in this issue is that there really isn't that much action from the other team. Like we see a lot going on with Deadpool, Wolverine, and Baron Strucker, but I want to see more action with Thunderbird and Cable and Chamber. I want to see them get hopefully we get more fighting from these guys in the next issue, because you have all these badasses and they spend most of the time on the Blackbird. It's like, okay, that's fine, but I want to see some action from these guys. But yeah, like you said, I agree. Deadpool is a character where you're treading a very, very thin line on this guy. It could be very tolerable or very intolerable very damn quickly. And Joe Casey does a very well job navigating that thin line in this issue. He is very tolerable. He's fun in this, and yet there may be a twist with Deadpool in this issue that happens. And I love the cliffhanger in this. It was setting up a huge, massive fight for the next issue. Chris Cross, I mean, this guy, he has been an artist now for almost 30 years now, and his art has never looked better. This is a fun series, guys. Do check out Weapon X-Men. It's a blast.
Absolutely. Really enjoying that one. And you were right. It was Thunderbird, not Warpath. My bad. I got the brothers mixed up. I'm such an idiot. I can't even forgive myself. Moving over to DC Comics, because not only was Absolute Wonder Woman absolutely amazing, we got 2 more books to recommend. Green Lantern 21, Jeremy Adams writing, Jack Herbert on art. We get a great Cotter, Kent, Kyle Rayner, Odyssey versus Starbreaker and the Sorrow Lantern. Certainly lots of hints that Odyssey has a very tragic past that we might be learning about in the not-too-distant future. The Green Lanterns finally figure out or decide the only way we can stop the fractal lanterns, the fractured spectrum itself, is to rebuild the central power batteries from the other lantern cores that are maybe not quite as nice as we are, but we need to balance everything out, sending them off in some different directions. This thing needs to get back in tune with a Hal Jordan book, and all the other stuff needs to be happening in Green Lantern Corps moving forward, because it is getting a bit overstuffed, but it's still good.
I agree. I was reading this, and it gets to a point where you see all these characters in here, and I had to check the cover. I'm like, wait a minute, this is just Green Lantern, right? It's not the other one, right? Because it didn't really feel like the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern series. But yeah, it's still fine. It's not great, but it's still a fun ride. Like you said, I do agree. There's too many characters. Some of these story elements need to be in the other Green Lantern series, because I love the stuff in here with Hector Hammond, Star Sapphire, Green Lantern. That's some crazy stuff, especially in that very last page. You get that big reveal with Hector Hammond and what he's doing. It's like, what is going on here? This is pretty nasty and disgusting what's going to be happening. Yeah, it's still good. I'm still going to recommend Green Lantern, but if you feel like there's too many characters, yeah, you're not alone. But yeah, it's still a good read and one of the better books from DC Comics right now, if not the best.
Definitely the best ongoing series still from DC. You're allowed to go up and down. We're on a little bit of a down period, but I imagine Jeremy's going to bring it back up. That's normally what he's been able to do. The last recommendation we got, Superman 24, Josh Williamson writing, Eddie Barrows on art. I am a huge Eddie Barrows fan. You know, we don't get Dan Mora, but that's a pretty good fill-in. There are, however, 2 pages or panels on a single page of Lois as Superwoman that looked really, really bad and off-putting. I don't know how it happened that Eddie Barrows gave her this like weird, not human face reaction to the fact that she was going to go out and go on to this mission. Besides that, the art does look very, very good. And this is another comic book that's a little bit overstuffed and needs to start dropping some of these side points that are going on here, because it isn't quite as good as it was maybe even 6 months ago. But we do have Mercy Graves taking the technology that they've used to help Superman, telling Superman that we're going to end up going and selling it out, maybe even on the black market, so we can make some money for the Supercorp. Superman is not in favor of that. That's why he's got to stay there. Superwoman is going off to help lead a very minor league version of the Justice League. And we do find out that Superman dropped a dime on Lex Luthor and let the government know he was starting to remember things, and maybe it was time for him to go back to prison again. I think we're getting the bad Lex Luthor back imminently.
Thank God. I do agree. Another title, overstuffed with characters. But I will say I do enjoy reading these characters more than the characters in the first few issues, where it's like the entire Superman family, all the other kids and everything else. I'm like, I don't care about all of them. Let's just dump them all. I do like what we're getting here, and I do like the revelation that Lex is maybe turning evil again, and I do like the what Mercy Graves may be doing behind the scenes. It's great. We're getting back to the status quo, how things should be. I love it. And the action in this between the Justice League and these bad guys, I really dig it. The Coons, yeah. It's fun stuff. And it's great seeing Creeper. I haven't seen the Creeper in action in a very long time. And everyone needs to check this out. It's a fun read. It's not the best, but it's still fun.
DC's still picking up momentum, even if they did put out a badly timed fart book.
Yes, despite their best efforts, they actually produced a relatively good week, and I still can't believe that book was actually made, and they thought they had a quality book on their hands here. It's shocking.
If you can't get enough of Thinking Critical YouTube, or you would just like to support the channel, the best place to do that is Thinking Critical Patreon. There's a link in the video description. There's a button right here, and once you arrive there are different tiers, lots of bonus podcasts, lots of things like this, but much, much bigger. Hope to see you there very, very soon and help us keep the videos flowing, keep the lights on, and keep the mission moving forward.